Welcome back. This is part 3. Coach Flo's Chalk Talk with Coach Flo. Good to be back here on Saturday afternoon. We're on the third part of Inside Zone Run Pass Option. So it's good to have you back. Like I said on the previous weeks, we got a bunch of subscribers now. So they're starting to add up a little bit. So if you like the video and you want to continue to get the video, please subscribe to the video, like the video, and hit the bell so you can get future videos. So good to have you back. I know a lot of different people have been watching what we're posting. This is the third part of 3 parts. Next week we'll get into another version of this, and then we'll jump onto a different topic. So thanks for coming back. So once again, Inside Zone, run play, RPO for those people that are not familiar with football terms, means run pass option, third part. Today these are the things we're going to do in the next 20 or so minutes. We're trying to keep the videos now close to 20 minutes so that it's more viewable for you than the first couple that were pushing 50 or so. So we're going to review just 1 and 2, parts 1 and 2. We're going to talk about a couple of different front variations that we haven't talked about. And then this is really the gist of where number 3 is going to be. We're going to add some motions and stuff in there and show you different ways you can run the RPO stuff from there. Okay, so let's get right into it. So if you remember back to the first week, I drew up a front that we're just reviewing right now. We just ran regular zone. We were running zone. We'd like to run it to the 3 technique. We don't have to. We can run it to the 2I. And this is the shade over here. Here's the 3 over here. So we were running zone. We want to keep the tailback inside leg of the tackle. Remember, our 20 series was to the tailback. Our 30 series was to the R. So that each guy knew where he was going. So we were running 35. That means the R would switch with the T going to the left. Remember, odd numbers were to the left. Even numbers were to the right. So that's how we did. That's how we figured out where we're going. So right now we've been running 25. The T back going to the 5 hole, which is to the left. Okay, so in the first concept of it, before we threw in the word lock, we were just running zone. Right? These guys were blocking. The Z was blocking. The Y was blocking. The R was either backing out or he was bubbling, and the quarterback was deciding whether he was going to give the ball to the T, he was going to run with the ball, or he was going to throw the ball. So it was either going to be this, it was either going to be that. This is option 1. This was option 2. This was option 3. So once again, we were talking about the difference between run pass option and triple option. Very similar, just a different concept. Okay, once again, we were blocking 2 for 2 here. We were blocking 2 for 2 here, and we were solo here. We called this a tug. We called this a chug. We called this a solo. We call this a tug because it was the tackle and guard. We call this a chug because it was the guard and center. We call this a solo because it was man on. We're blocking 5 for 5, and this is our read guy. If this guy banded, quarterback would pull, and then he would attack the next thing, which is this guy. If he continued up, then he would throw the bubble. If he stayed here, then he would take the ball. Okay, so that was a review from week 1. Then we went one step further. Staying with this defense, we threw in the word lock. Okay, so now we went lock. So now we went in the lock. Lock told the line that they were locked on. Lock meant that the tackle was locked on the end. The guard was responsible for the 3 technique. The center and guard had a chug on the will, and the end was blocked by the tackle. The quarterback's responsibility was to read this guy. Okay, so on lock, we were running slant, bubble. So they were stuttering like they were going to block to get him to commit. If he came in like this on the zone, you threw the ball right there. Okay? If he bailed to take that, you gave the ball. So it's called run pass option. All right? So that's 2 weeks quick review in like 5 minutes. Let's talk about different fronts and how we block them. We always want to have that Y out there. It's about 6 yards. Remember we talked about that. You got The Y was on the ball, the Z was off. Let's draw up a 3-3. A little bit different look. All right, you got backer, 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 safety, safety. So you got a 3-3 look now. Okay? Let's talk about number one. Number one is we're just calling, right now we're calling, sorry. Let's put the R over here. We're calling 35. We're going to go 35, straight 35 Indy. Okay? So 35 Indy, once again, in 35 Indy, what we're doing is these two guys here, okay? So if you look at the blocking scheme, okay, what we're trying to do here is block. We're leaving him, okay? So what happens is these two guys here now in a 3-3, okay, are blocking for here. These two guys are working for here, and now your tackle is stepping down, and he's going to try and block that guy. That's the responsibility. Now we could arc that tackle if we wanted to. We could, you know, he could step out. However, when we ran triple option, my last couple years, we ran triple this way. We would arc him, we would squeeze him, whatever the case is. You're trying to secure the down lineman first in case of twists. We can't block him. We never said that it was feasible for the running back to do that. We don't want to do that. We could block him even if he creeps down. The X can take him. We got no one to block the corner. Remember, in straight zone, we're blocking here. Here, we're bubbling. Quarterback's watching that end. So quarterback takes the snap of the ball. Okay, quarterback attacks the line of scrimmage. He takes a step to the line of scrimmage. Some quarterbacks step away. He steps to the line of scrimmage, his eye on the end. If the end bends, he pulls the ball. He pulls the ball, and now he looks at what the next read is. So maybe you get a little squeeze and scrape. This happens here. He throws the bubble. He stays inside. He stays here. He takes off. He stays inside. He attacks. He throws the bubble. His eyes have to be up. You can't have a quarterback that plays like this. Quarterback's got to be looking at the defense at all times. If we were to lock this, if we go 35 Indy lock, 35 Indy lock, we could just say 35 lock. Remember, the 5 series was inside zone. 4 was to the right, 5 was to the left. Even to the right, odd to the left. You can use names. Remember, guys' names are to the right, girls' names are to the left. Okay, so you come to the line of scrimmage and say Indy Michael, and then you were going to the right. You go to the line of scrimmage and do Indy Amanda, you're going to the left. Okay, so you could call that out on the line of scrimmage. So if you're going to change it, remember, if we're running a play, let's say we're running Indy Michael, quarterback doesn't like it to that side, he wants to check to the other side, he doesn't have to say Indy Amanda, he could say check opposite. Everyone on offense knows the play's going in the other direction. We need to come up with different names. You can't always say Indy Michael and Indy Amanda. You got to say Indy John, Indy Charles, Indy Peter, Indy Veronica, Indy Cynthia, Indy Kate. Got to have different names. Can't use the same names over and over again. Okay, so in the lock, once again, in the regular Indy, he's here like these guys are blocking. Then it's a slant and a slant. Remember, on the backside, we're blocking here to here. In lock, he's locked. These two guys are working for here. These two guys are working for there. Quarterback's read is number 1 to number 2. If he rides it enough and he folds in, throw the slant. If he rides it enough and he folds in, throw the slant. Okay? If for some reason he folds in, he takes the slant, he beats here, he's got to go to his next progression, which is the outside slant. Okay? So hopefully we got that. There are no other front variations to this. I know some people said, well, what happens if you get a tight look? Well, you're not going to get a tight look because you got a tight end extended. once your tight end goes out here, someone's got to cover that tight end up. So you're not going to get like, Sam, you may get, Sam end, nose, end. Some teams are doing this now where they go backer, backer. It's a 4-2. It's the same as what I showed you before. It's just with different personnel. I already showed you an Okie, which is an odd front. I showed you an even. I showed you a stacked. Some people say, what if you get an under? You're not going to get an under. You can't. I mean, this is what an under is. You have a 5. You have this. You have that. You have that. You're not gonna have a 7-man box. It's just not conducive. And if it was, and you were gonna run zone, all right. You wanted to run it to the left. You wanted to run 5. We're here. Okay. We're here. 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 Okay, so we're blocking these two guys here are scooping and the backer. He's here on the shade. He's a solo. He's a solo. We're short a guy, so it's just not beneficial. Get out of it. Run a different play. We could talk about power at some point. Power could be. We could talk. What's good against this is you go quarterback power or you go quarterback trap, which I haven't shown you yet. But I mean, I don't want to get us one step ahead of myself. But you could run a trap play with a quarterback option, okay? And it's just difficult. I mean, it can be done, but it's a little bit harder. You want to try and trap the 3 technique, okay? So what you would do is you would double down, block back. Unfortunately, you'd have to go to a long call here and block back, block back. He'd have to kick out the 3 technique. You could probably pass set and go for the backer, but it's tough. It's tough either way. I'd get out of it and run something else. Okay, let's talk about motion. All right, so we got about 8 minutes left. This is the crux of what we're going to talk about right now. So now let's say this happens. Let's say you are, all right, let's say the tight end's here. You got your Z. You got your X out here. Now you take your R and you put them over here. Because you got to move around. Defenses are going to move around. You got to move around. Let's say the Sam's here. You got the Mike and you got the Will. Okay, so we would call that diamond flex. Diamond, usually the tight end was in a tight position. If we flexed him, he'd be out wide. Call Roger, call Leo, call whatever you want. Okay, motion, however you want to call the motion. I'm not going to get crazy into the motion right now. I just want you to understand that this formation right here looks exactly like this formation when we put them in motion. So if we just line them up in that trips right stack that I talked to you about, trips right stack, strong, trips right, here's a trips right stack, strong. Or we went diamond flex and we motion them, same concept. Nothing changes. So here's the beauty. Okay, so now you're a jet sweep team. A lot of teams run the jet sweep now. They put the T out here. He's reaching. These guys are all reaching. Whatever the case is. Now you're coming here like you're running jet sweep. Okay? Now as he comes through, you're going to run 35 Indy. Right? Let's just say you're going to run 35 Indy right now. You're going to go, 25 Indy. Okay? Everything looks the same. Now what happens is this. He's blocking here. He's blocking here. Once he gets 2 yards outside the tackle box, he bubbles. Just as if he was in trips right near, trips right strong stack. Everything else stays the same. Combo here, tug. These 2 guys are solid here, climbing, chug, solo. Because when he motions, he's going to bump. He's got to bump inside the box. He's got to align himself. He's not going to stand out there. Because now you have trips. You got the bubble concept. All right, let's say now you want to go lock. You want to run the same thing. He's locked. He's here. These two guys are climbing. He's a solo. He comes here. He's coming jet motion. Here. Here. Let me tell you something. And then you have your tailback go through. So what happens is he goes first. That's why your tailback is inside leg and a tackle. Because if your tailback is on the guard, he runs into the running back as he runs by. So now he's inside, let's say he's inside leg and a tackle. Here comes the jet sweep. Jet sweep goes through. Quarterback doesn't do anything to the jet sweep. He could, but we don't want to put the ball on the ground. Quarterback gets the snap. Jet sweep guy goes through. Quarterback then just goes like he's running zone, and here comes the back. All you're doing is showing the window dressing of the jet sweep motion. You want to flash it and do that, you can if you want. It's not necessary. I take it one step further than that. Let's say you're an option team, which we were. Let's say you're an option team. Okay, so that play right there will be diamond right flex, strong, whatever the motion is, let's call it zoom, 25 indie. Okay, now you want to change it to ghost motion, 25 indie. Now what happens is he's here. So on the snap of the ball, he takes a flat step and it comes behind. Because now if it's option, here you go. That if you were going to run option. You're not. You're still running 25. Nothing changes. Only now when he's here, he doesn't have to get depth because he already has it. He just continues like that. So he's going to come here. He goes flat, and then he starts to look over his inside shoulder. There's another way you can run it. Okay, so far I've shown you regular lineup and trips run zone. Then run zone out of trips with the RPO. Then line up in 2x2 in motion zoom, which means across the formation like you're running jet sweep, and run the zone with the bubble. Then run it with ghost motion. Ghost means behind. Okay? You run it with ghost motion. Same concept. I've given you so many different things. So you can practice this whole package and not have a lot of plays, and it looks like different plays. You don't even have to be an option team. Okay, because what's going to happen is over the course of time, you're going to get this. Okay, they're going to bump. And then what's going to happen is this guy's going to go over the top. This is going to happen. He's going to see this and come down, and here you are. This guy's got to catch him. There's so much movement. You got ghost motion. You got jet motion. These linebackers are going to slide. This guy's not want to get, he's going to come down. They may send him on a stunt. I'll take it one step further than that. Let's say you want to go orbit. I'm sorry I'm drawing everything up only from one side, but for the nature of the video, I just want to try and get through it. Obviously, you could run it to the other side. Orbit. So you got ghost, which is motion across and behind. So it's option motion. You got zoom or jet. Now you got orbit. Okay. Now you got orbit. Orbit motion is great because of this. Let's say you want to run jet sweep going this way. So you put the T opposite. Now you want to run your RPO over here to the weak side. Remember I said we had that little slant and go? And let's say we're running zone this way. We got a solo. We got 2 for 2. We got 2 for 2. We're reading here to there. So you got this coming across. You got your jet. Quarterback's reading here. He goes first. He comes here. Now you got it bang, bang. Now before, when it's 3x1, you only have a one-man read. So now you get this bend, you get this here, you get a home run. There's no one there. But orbit is good because what happens in orbit is now, the tailback's on the same side. Sometimes we put him in a pistol. Now orbit means he's coming here like you're running maybe speed in the other direction, only you're throwing the brakes on and going back in the same direction. So now you're coming here, you got 2 for 2, 2 for 2, solo. He comes back straight out, and you got the same thing as if you put him here and went ghost. So I've just given you a ton of variations to run the RPO concept. One looks like an option where you go orbit or ghost. Ghost is behind and through. Orbit is 2 and back. You can run zoom or jet. Okay, 3 and 1 to 2 and 2 jet. You can go 2 and 2, 3 and 1 jet. You can go empty and run jet. And you're basically running zone. The line just needs to know what their calls are. They got to know if they're a solo. They got to know if they're a scoop. They got to know if they're a chug. They got to know if they're a tug. That's all. They got to communicate. Quarterback plays with his eyes up. Quarterback never plays with his eyes down. Okay? And then now the one key before we break, the one key when you get that motion behind, you got to practice that. You got to do a drill. You got to do an indie drill. So the quarterback says, Brown, set hut. When he says set hut, the hut is now as he's starting to bellow back. So you want to snap the ball hut here so that when this happens, these guys are in pitch relationship, because at some point I'm going to talk to you about option. Just not today. Okay, so hopefully you get something out of this. This is, like I said, 3-part series. We're going on part 4 next week. Part 4 now, we take the tight end, who's the hybrid guy. Some offenses call him an H. And now we move him inside. We're going to show you a kick concept, show you a load concept, show you a stick concept, give you 3 or 4 concepts. So maybe this guy isn't athletic and you need him in tighter, you do that. But once again, you're staying in the same concept. All right? Hopefully you got something out of it. Thanks for spending your Saturday with me. Chalk Talk with Coach Flo, Head Coach's Corner. Have a great weekend.